trek through the AL East ended on a high note last night as Evan Longoria's 2 long balls powered the Rays past the Red Sox 5-3. Tonight at home, a marquee pitching matchup. 2 of the top right-handers in the AL square off, with Chris Archer facing Nick Martinez of the Texas Rangers. On the heels of a successful trip up to Boston, taking 2 out of 3 at Fenway from the Red Sox, the Rays return home. Tonight, they'll open a 4-game series and an 8-game homestand, taking on the Texas Rangers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball from the Trop with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Well, the Rays will be home a lot over the next 3 weeks. 15 home games out of their next 20, and it begins tonight against Texas with a very good pitching matchup. Anytime Chris Archer's involved, it's a good matchup. And Nick Martinez, who is off to a great start for Texas, goes to the hill for the Rangers.
These guys 2-3 right now in the American League in earned run average. And what you're going to learn tonight when you watch this ball game is there are different ways to get it done because they are different pitches. Nick Martinez, a .84 earned run average. He's given up just 3 earned runs on the season, but he's not the dominant type pitcher that Chris Archer is. He relies on creating angles, working the fastball downhill to go along with the slider, the changeup, and the curveball, using his fielder. That's the way he gets it done. Chris Archer, the way we've seen him get it done, one of the highest swing and miss percentages in the American League. He does have dominant stuff. 3rd in the American League in earned run average. His last start struggled just a little bit with his command, but you know what? Made some adjustments in his bullpen session and will look to go out tonight and get back to being his dominant self.
So Chris Archer trying to find the winning side of the ledger. He is 3 of 3. You see against the Texas Rangers in 3 starts. 1-0 with an earned run mark of 2.25. Looking for a victory tonight. For the Rays winners last night, Evan Longoria was a big part of that. He's under the weather, not in the lineup. And another big part of that Rays victory, as usual, the bullpen. As Brad Boxberger closed the door, Todd Callis with more on Boxberger and the bullpen when we return.
as the 8th inning guy seamlessly roll in to the 9th inning closer role. But with Jake McGee on the shelf this year, Brad Boxberger has. And consider this, last year he threw 4 curveballs all year, 19 sliders. This year, he's mixing in the curveball and having a lot of success recently with it. Consider this week as he faced the Baltimore Orioles and the Boston Red Sox. He threw 19 fastballs and the same number of changeups, 10, as curveballs, 10. Again, he threw only 4 curveballs all of last year. So here's Boxberger mixing in a 3rd pitch and having success against it. Again, with it, he had success with the Boston Red Sox, which moved his total to 7 for 7 in the save department this year. That ERA, a stealthy 1.59. Opponents hitting just 154 against them. And we caught up with Brad and asked him about going to more than just the fastball and changeup.
I've always wanted to have a 3rd pitch. I threw a slider a little bit last year and didn't have the success I wanted to with it, so went back to my curveball that I threw a couple years ago and started playing with it in the offseason, and kind of just developed from there.
This guy was nasty with 2 pitches, so look out, league. That curveball is now in play. We're ready for baseball with the first pitch in 3 minutes on the dot as the Texas Rangers are in town for 4. Nick Martinez on the mound for Texas, Chris Archer for Tampa Bay.
As you may have ascertained, we have Phantom Cam. Looking forward to some great shots up close and slowed down in the series against the Texas Rangers. Chris Archer taking the hill, making his 7th start. We'll take a look at the starting lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Texas will lead off with the right fielder Shin-Soo Choo, followed by Elvis Andrus, and then Prince Fielder. Adrian Beltre, the cleanup man, at first base, hitting 5th. Kyle Blanks. Carlos Figueroa is in left. Robinson Chirinos behind the plate. Rukni Odor is at 2nd base, and in center field hitting 9th will be Delino DeShields. Or Delino DeShields.
I remembered that guy. Making a comeback, huh?
This is his son.
Well, there you go.
first pitch of this game. And it's brought to you by Pinch a Penny. Came in a little bit high. Chu fouls it away, and the count is 1-1.
That's how you know that you've been around the game for a while and you're getting older. When players that you've played against, or maybe just a little before you, or now their sons are playing.
Yep. I know what you're saying. Ground ball toward the middle, and shaded that way is Beckham, and he takes care of Chu. One away here, so we're underway with an out in the books.
Well, let's take a look at the Rays defense as it lines up here tonight. Outfield left to right, we have DeJesus, Kiermaier, and Souza Jr. Infield, a whole new look. You got Logan Forsythe the third, and then Tim Beckham at short, Jake Elmore, and James Loney with Bobby Wilson behind the plate.
Elvis Andrus, the shortstop, hitting .231. Got a fastball to start him in with a strike. Texas coming off a 3-game sweep in Houston, cooling off the red-hot Astros, who lead the American League West, the division out of which the Texas Rangers play. Rays start the night in the East, running second, 2 games back of New York. Kevin Cash has his club at 15-13, and just completing that stretch of 22 games against the East, and going a couple games over 500 in that stretch at 12-10. 1-2 now to Andrus. There's the slider in at 89, and he missed with it. 2-2. Fastball wide, full count.
Well, the one thing to watch with Chris Archer tonight, can he get back to working downhill? That last start, front side leaking a little bit early, left a lot of pitches up.
And there's a strike call on a 3-2 slider. Wow. 2 gone.
Well, he's just trying to throw this for a strike, not going to try to get fancy with it. You can see where Bobby Wilson is set up. His body is over the plate, so they're just looking, hey, listen, get this pitch, throw it for a strike, whether he swings at it or not, and it worked out famously.
So 2 up, 2 down on a ground ball and a strikeout. Here's Prince Fielder. Fielder with a couple of home runs. You see 13 runs batted in, and hitting .349 on a team that's 15th in the league in hitting at .225.
Yeah, offensively, they have not been getting it done. However, they do have some guys heating up a little bit. Prince Fielder's been good all year. Adrian Beltre on a hot streak. Carlos Peguero had a big night yesterday. You just can't go out there and roll out your game and expect to get them out. You're still going to have to make pitches.
Strike the count to Fielder. Texas averaging a little over 4 runs a game. 4.04 runs per game for Texas. 1-2.
I think they just snuck over 4 with their big game yesterday, where I think they scored 11 runs in Houston.
Fielder started to go, and Bobby Wilson wanted the opinion of Mike Estabrook down at third. He says he held up, and he did. Dana DeMuth is calling the balls and strikes, granting time to Fielder here. DeMuth, over 30 years of major league time. He'll be 59 at the end of this month. And a full count on Fielder.
And you can see Chris Archer already showing just a little bit of emotion, because this is how the outing went the last time, where he really fought himself and his mechanics.
High fly ball into right. Souza Jr. keeping an eye on it as he comes in. to make the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 first. Rays come again to hit. No score. Rays lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Kevin Kiermaier again leads off with Souza Jr. in the number 2 spot. James Loney hitting third. Logan Forsythe gets a start in the cleanup spot with the Jesus, Butler, Beckham, and Elmore and Wilson completing Kevin Cash's lineup. First pitch to Kiermaier, and it's a strike from Nick Martinez.
You can already see right here Nick Martinez not overpowering, and you can also see it in his numbers. It's been a great start for Nick Martinez. 2-0 record. The team has won all 5 of his starts, but just 13 strikeouts in 32 innings. He relies on his defense.
Kiermaier in the leadoff spot in the Boston series at Fenway. Drew a couple of walks last night. He's drawn only 3 all year coming into that game. Put up in the leadoff spot. 2 walks in his first 2 plate appearances. Half of his hits have gone for extra bases. And they cut the miss. The fastball up, and he missed it. Strike 1.
Let's take a look at the Texas Ranger defense as it lines up tonight in the outfield left to right. We have Carlos Peguero, Delino DeShields, and Sin-Shu Chu across the infield third to first. Adrian Beltre, Elvis Andrus, Rougned Odor, Kyle Blanks, Robinson Chirinos will be behind the plate.
Steven Souza Jr. fouling away the first pitch for a strike.
Well, when you look at these 2 lineups, Steven Souza Jr., highest percentage of swinging at the first pitch. He is the most aggressive hitter as far as that stat goes. He does not like to wait around and waste time.
Rolls it to the shortstop. Andrus throws him out. 2 up, 2 down.
You know, the problem with that is if we know that, you know that opposing teams know that, and that's where you can try to exploit Steven Souza Jr., which has led to a lot of strikeouts. Now, that's something that Kevin Kiermaier has been working on, lowering the, take some more first pitches, try to work a count a little bit. If a team knows that you're a free swinger, going to make it difficult on you.
Now James Loney, who turns 31 today. Hitting third in the lineup. Kevin Cash had to alter this lineup. He originally had Longoria in there as a DH. Fly ball into right field. Choose there to make the catch. And the Rays are up and down in order. On to the second. No score.
Game since September 22nd of 2013, able to plug Evan Longoria into the lineup in the original lineup as mentioned by Dwayne earlier, but then due to the flu has to miss tonight. As you see, Adrian Beltre now with the longest streak in the American League. Freddie Freeman the longest overall, guys.
Beltre leading off the second inning, taking the first pitch, a fastball in the mid-90s from Archer for strike one. 1-1. Beltre hitting .236, but for the last 10 games he's been up well over .320. 1-2.
And that's where this team can become dangerous. You know, if you can start to get Elvis Andrus going at the top of the order. Chu has been typically a good on-base percentage guy, not so much last year. A little bit of a slow start this year. And then, of course, Fielder.
Chopped foul.
You got the makings of a lineup on paper where you can go out and figure you're going to be able to score some runs, give your team a chance, but that has not been the way it's gone so far in the early going.
Cut to miss. Beltre out on the fastball. Strikeout number 2 for Archer.
No, just kind of feeling for that pitch. Not a very aggressive swing at all. Kind of leaks the front side, and it's all arms after that. Chris Archer, there he is creating that angle, that pitch down in the zone. That's what you want to see. Look at that finish.
Boy, what a great shot that is to look at Archer and his delivery through the phantom cam. Kyle Blanks lines a base hit into center. One hop in front of Kiermaier. So that's the first hit of this game.
Left fielder, number 43, Carlos Peguero.
And now Carlos Peguero comes up there.
Big day yesterday. 2 of the 3 home runs in that big win over the Astros.
Rays remember him from his time with Seattle, and he does have big time power. Ball, no strikes. That's a ball, says Dana Demuth. 2-0. One on with one out. Two and one. Well, the Rays begin this 8-game homestand. Texas in the middle of a 7-game road trip. As we mentioned, they swept Houston 3, and then these 4 here in the series with the Rays. Up the middle, and a base hit into center field. Stopping at second is Blanks. 2 men on with 1 out.
Well, one thing that we're noticing already with Chris Archer here tonight in the early going is when he needs a strike, he's going to the slider. Having trouble right now keeping the fastball on the plate. And here, a slider down in the zone, middle of the plate, and Peguero just smokes that thing right back up the middle. Just trying to find a way to survive here early till that fastball gets going, because once he's able to command that, that's when everything else falls into place and he becomes the dominant starter that we've seen all season.
Chirinos, the catcher, and there's a fastball, and he cannot find the zone with that one. Ball 1.
And it's not like the misses have been big, but they're just a little bit off. Trying to dial it in here early.
That's a strike. It's 1-1. It may be unfair, but sometimes umpires get to be known as pitchers or hitters umpires. And through the years, the general consensus is that Demuth might be a little bit more of a hitter's umpire. So we'll see how that works out. See, there's a pitch up just a little bit. Ball 2.
And not exactly what you want to hear when you're trying to hone in on the strike zone. Because more often than not, you know, if you're a guy that's been out of the zone and you're not consistently hitting your spots, the close pitches, you don't get the benefit of the doubt.
Yep. Two on with 1 out. Chirinos fouls that slider.
The one thing that Chris Archer has going for him, and this is another one of those trends around the game where everybody's infatuated with stuff, is if you've got a guy out there with his kind of stuff, you know, you can get away with some mistakes. It maybe buys you a little bit of time because you can outstuff a hitter here or there.
Yeah, you might get a chase from a guy. But he's 3-2. He went to the slider again. We saw him go with a slider 3-2 to Andrus in the first. And the point you made here in the second, that's the pitch he apparently feels more comfortable with right now.
Even the 2-0 to Beltre slider.
And a cut and a miss. Comes back to get Chirinos on a fastball.
Yep, and you know, so maybe that gets him going now. Because that was a good fastball. Obviously a runner in scoring position in a full count, and he stays behind it nicely and drives it right to where Bobby Wilson is set up. Just overpowered Chirinos.
Right past the bat of Chirinos. Now the young infielder, Rougned Odor, hitting 151. takes the fastball for a ball.
Well, that's something that he's been trying to do more of this year. We mentioned Kevin Kiermaier, a very aggressive hitter. And last year, boy, hacking at the first pitch all the time, trying to get him to be a little bit more patient. And you can see that hasn't quite taken hold. The batting average, a little over 150.
1-1.
And a swing that big,
Yep.
a swing that big can be exploited. That was a huge swing, a lot going on mechanically from Odor. Boy, a lot of moving parts. You see that body drifting towards the pitcher's mound.
And now he takes the fastball for a strike.
Yeah, and when you're moving like that, when you start moving and your body's drifting towards the mound, that pitch right there is one that can really exploit you. The fastball in. Tough to get the hand started to get to it. Same thing with off-speed pitches. You get a guy way out front.
Now 2-2. Texas with a couple base runners, back-to-back singles. 2 men on with 2 men out. Delino DeShields on deck. And a swing and a miss, ball popping away, and the bases are going to be loaded. Odor strikes out, but the ball gets away, and he reaches. Wild pitch on the strikeout.
Well, the slider from Archer, you can see right there, it hits in front of the plate. And Bobby Wilson is trying to cover that up, keep it in front, but it hit far enough out with that little side spin. It glances off of him, and no way you were going to get Odor at that point. Now bases are juiced.
Well, here is DeShields. And the first pitch is a strike. DeShields 4 out of 25. He was a Rule 5 pick by the Rangers off the out of the Houston organization. And a strike called. Slider 1-2. Now 2-2. That's slider again.
Well, you can understand why he likes to go to that pitch and feels comfortable with it. He's had so much success in the zone, out of the zone with that pitch. Throws it hard.
2-2. Fouled away.
Boy, DeShields lucky there because that 95 was just about by him. Tardy on the swing. Hitters don't like to get beat with the fastball. You figure if you got him geared up for it here. Come back with that slide ball.
And he takes it. He did go with the slider, and the count is full. Well, a lot of pitches here in this inning. Up to 43 at 15 in the first. 43 right now.
And that 15 is right on par for him. 28 making him work here in the second. Get this guy out, though. Feel a lot better.
And the foul ball back, so we'll see another 3-2 pitch. Long inning for Archer with the bases loaded. He has 3 strikeouts in this inning and 1 in the first. Odor reached on the strikeout of the wild pitch to load the bases. 3-2 again to DeShields. And he walks it. That forces home a run. And Texas takes a 1-0 lead Blanks crossing the plate.
Well, some of the issues that Chris had with the Baltimore Orioles, where in his last start, 6 innings, he walked 4 hitters. You don't typically see that from him, are creeping up here today. You know, he's trying to throw that pitch. It's the 9-hole hitter, full count fastball, trying to just throw a strike, but missing up. And that's what he struggled with Baltimore, not staying over the rubber tall long enough.
First pitch is too high to Shin-Soo Choo.
When he's right, he stands over that rubber. As that leg comes up, he doesn't start to move towards home plate until the leg is on its way down. He's drifting just a little bit. Kind of like what we saw with Odor and his hitting mechanics, drifting towards the mound. Right now, Archer's body drifting towards home plate. When this leg comes up tall, see, look at, he's already headed to the plate before the arm comes out of the glove with his body. And his arm is just never able to catch up. Usually that leg kick comes up and the hand is out of the glove before he starts to fall towards home plate. And then everything's in sync.
And he has fallen behind Choo 2-0. Big cut at the fastball. 2-1.
That sometimes when you got a guy out there that's an aggressive mindset type pitcher, that's one of the hardest things to correct when it starts to go wrong, because you want to get at that hitter. You're aggressive. You want to head towards home plate. You can't do it too soon. That's the result.
And this one is high, and he's behind Choo 3-1. And he's up to 34 pitches in this inning. This will be number 35 coming. That's a strike. Choo trying to help DeMuth out with a call. So it's a full count.
Well, he really made a nice adjustment here and drove that ball downhill. That's what we're used to seeing. He needs to do it one more time.
And he walks in. Back-to-back bases loaded walks, and it's 2-0. And Jim Hickey will go out to spend some time on the mound. Well, it's been a long inning for Archer with a lot of pitches.
You know, I'll tell you, I've been surprised at some of the sliders that this Ranger ball club has been able to take so far off of Archer. Some of these pitches that we've seen teams go after aggressively. Now, of course, Shin-Soo Choo, very disciplined, selective hitter at the plate. He can take his walks, but even some of the other takes have been good. And so Jim Hickey out there trying to give him some reminders mechanically and also give him a blow because of the pitch count that you just mentioned.
Yeah, 36 pitches in this inning.
Shortstop for the Astros.
So 2 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 1 allowing a runner to reach on a wild pitch. And here's Andrus. And ball 1 to him.
Well, this is a very lonely place to be for a pitcher when you cannot make the adjustment and get back into the zone. That's all he's trying to do right now.
Andrus chased the slider, and it's 1-1. He's had 5 full counts and 6 3-ball counts in 10 hitters he's faced.
He probably didn't have that his first 2 or 3 starts combined.
Yep. Line drive into center. That's in for a base hit. 1 run is in. DeShields heads to the plate. The throw offline. And Texas has a 4-run inning here in the second. Andrus, a line single up the middle, scoring 2 more. And on the throw to the plate, Choo winds up at third and Andrus up at second.
Well, the fastball that caught a lot of the plate, and Elvis Andrus just going right back up the middle. The throw here by Kevin Kiermaier sails. So no chance for a play at the plate. Andrus is able to move up because it was over everybody's head. No cutoff man. Rays have some action in the bullpen already. How about that?
And now Fielder takes a big cut and misses. Erasmo Ramirez up in the bullpen. It has been a 40-pitch inning. Fielder, the 9th hitter to come to the plate. 0-2.
Well, a heavy workload, under duress, fighting yourself, fighting your body, your mechanics.
Fielder just got a bit of that, and part of Wilson as well on the foul ball.
And right now, still, it's been tough. You know, Chris Archer, again, just watch the front leg. When the leg comes up, he should stay over the rubber, and then as the leg starts down, that's when you start drifting towards home plate to make your pitch. Right now, when the leg comes up, the body starts drifting.
Out of play.
And even that pitch, you know, he swung at it, but that pitch was up because that's what ends up happening. Watch the leg go up, and the top half is already headed towards home plate. When Chris Archer's right, that leg comes up, that top half stays quiet. Then as the leg starts down, the body starts, and that's when you see the explosive downhill fastball.
Fly ball back into center. Kiermaier is there to catch this one. Texas sends 9 men to the plate. They score 4. It's 4-0. For the second, the annual Rays broadcast auction set for Wednesday, May 13th. Tune in for an opportunity to bid on exclusive experiences. Proceeds benefit the Rays Baseball Foundation and Tampa General Hospital Foundation. So for more information, visit raysbaseball.com/broadcast auction to preview what will be up for bid. Rays up. Logan Forsythe hitting cleanup. His first start in the cleanup spot this year. He's been in the 4th spot before. A lot of that had to do with maneuvers made by managers later in games. But he did start a game for the Rays last year, last September. He was in the cleanup spot in a game against Cleveland. September 28th. Longoria under the weather and out of the lineup. It was a last-minute shuffle, and it found Forsythe in the 4th spot. There's a base hit up the middle. Rays come back and put the leadoff man on in the bottom of the 2nd.
Well, the one thing that we've talked about with Logan Forsythe and the quick start to the season is the quick hands at the plate. This is a fastball Nick Martinez is going to try to come in on. Now watch how quick the hands. Look at it, late and quick through the zone and right back up the middle. That is outstanding work by Mr. Forsythe.
You know, Nick Martinez is an interesting development on a couple of fronts for the Texas Rangers. He's out of the Miami area and went to college at Fordham and was an infielder more than anything in college. Pretty good hitting infielder at the collegiate level. There's a strike.
You can see a little bit of that in his mechanics, where he doesn't really short arm the ball, but he doesn't have that long pitcher's arm swing either. He's very direct, out of the glove to the throwing position and then to the plate. It's that infielder. Even his finish. You know, we saw that finish on the Phantom can with Archer coming all the way down, almost showing you his last name and his number. Nick Martinez kind of throws that ball, stays standing up.
He made their club last year out of spring training and wasn't even in the big league camp with the team. Ground ball 3rd. Beltran is 2nd, 1, and first base the scoop by Blanks for the 5-4-3 double play. So he throws a double play ball, and that's one thing he's getting a lot of in the early part of this year. A lot of ground balls.
A lot of ground balls. I think this is the 6th grounder into a double play, and it's not that he has a big-time sink running fastball. He just works the angle, works the ball downhill. Yeah, that you know, going back to your point about making the ball club after spending all of camp in minor league camp, that tells you where the Rangers were at with their injuries.
Joey Butler lays off the slider, ball 1.
Speaking of a couple of fronts, maybe it was the crowd at the Baltimore series here. Maybe it was the fact that the Rangers scored 4 runs in the top half of the inning. But I don't remember this many people on our flight last night that got in before a.m. Quiet.
Ground ball. Beltran at 3rd. Makes the throw across the diamond. Got a point. We're through 2. 4-0 Texas. Throwback Rays Day brought to you by Jeep. Submit the best vintage photo of yourself by using the hashtag #ThrowbackRays. We'll select the best photo and feature it in tonight's post-game show. First pitch slider to Beltre. One and one. Blanks next, and then Perguero. One and two. We're just in a little period down here. The Rays down 4-0. Montreal's gotten off to a 2-0 lead after the first period over the Lightning. Just a little lull. Still a lot of the evening left. And there's a strikeout of Beltre.
Yeah, not a good start.
Yeah.
Not a good start at all. Well, maybe it's coming back around. Fastball up. Beltre can't reach it. And I'm smelling the Lightning around a rush right now.
Yeah, okay.
Let's hope.
Well, Archer starts the third the same way he did the second, by getting ahead of Beltran and striking him out. Well, let's hope that's a trend that continues versus what we saw in the second inning. Blanks takes that pitch for a strike. A slider called a strike.
And you just wonder the fact that Chris has been struggling with the fastball command. He has stayed completely away from the changeup.
Ahead of Blanks, 1 and 2.
And so it's really been the slider when he's needed something. He's gone with the fastball, missed with it, some have hit.
Two and two. Well, that pitch up around 97 or so, but up. It's a case of rushing.
It is. That's exactly what it is.
And to left center field. Couple of hops to the wall off the slider, and Blanks has a double. He's 2 for 2.
I think Chris is just so anxious to get towards home plate that, you know, that fastball, he was just, listen, this is what I'm going to do. And it ends up. He comes back with the slider, and this one just stays a little bit flat on him in the middle of the plate, and Blanks is able to get a good swing on it. Frustrating night once again for Chris, but you're going to have to try to figure out something here to get deeper into the game, and, you know, hope your offense can chip away at Nick Martinez.
Carlos Perguero. He takes a big cut. Yeah. Ooh, off speed pitch there.
I think
strike one.
That may have been changeup number 1, and that was a good one. These are the pitches that can somehow and sometimes buy you a little bit of time when you can find yourself mechanically on the fastball.
It's 1 and 1. And as you referenced earlier, when you're not at your sharpest, it's hard to get a call. Now he's in front. That pitch fouled back.
No, it's been the changeup that's done it to Perguero here. And so now, you know, you have an idea of what you'd like to see him go with, but does he feel, you know, is he feeling it right now? Just fighting himself a little bit.
And he gets him. Strikes him out. 6 strikeouts for Archer. He got there on the changeup and then went up with the fastball.
And one of the few times where he was up on purpose. You can see before that pitch was called, Bobby Wilson gave him the glove, flashed that glove up, meaning I want this up around the letters.
Chirinos takes a pitch away.
Hey, if you've been up all night, hey, Bobby goes, hey, this is a pitch I know he can make. Middle of the plate up, boom, take the strikeout and move on.
2-0. He's fallen behind with 2 fastballs. It's one of those nights where it's almost as if the harder I try, the worse it becomes. In the dirt, blocked by Wilson.
You know, this is why you throw bullpens. This is why you have side work where maybe you don't even use a baseball, just working on your mechanics, because that's what muscle memory, mechanics, that is what your entire delivery is built off of. And if anything goes a little awry and you're not able to fix it quickly, this is what can happen. Inconsistency with each pitch. And then you start to lose confidence. Like, well, I'm trying to throw that fastball there. I feel like I can, but if I'm drifting and not able to, you know, to be in sync, the ball's not getting there. And that's a tough way to pitch.
And he misses up and walks Chirinos.
You see, you just don't see this from Chris Archer. You see it here tonight. You saw it a little bit in that last start against Baltimore.
Yeah, this is the antithesis to what we saw in his early starts. And then a little bit of inconsistency against Baltimore, and just flat out struggling here in this start tonight against Texas.
Well, I remember we were having a conversation, actually walking towards the parking lot, and we were talking about, you know, I said it really looks, we talked about staying tall over the rubber. He said that is the key. You know, he's tall, lanky, a tremendous pitcher's build. Long arms, long legs, you know, a lot of power out in front, but the key is to stay linear over that rubber. And the last 2 starts, it's been difficult for him to do consistently.
Facing Odor, the second baseman now. Up the left side, out of play. And the count is 2 strikes. Odor, young infielder out of Venezuela. Chirinos at first and Blanks at second. A couple of strikeouts in this inning. 6 in the game, and he's ahead of Odor. He got him, went up with a fastball to strike him out. 7 strikeouts through 3 innings. But Archer finds himself down 4-0 as we go into the bottom of the 3rd. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Sea-Doo, Sea-Doo Spark is the most affordable watercraft on the water, starting at only $49.99 or as low as $79 a month. Rays forced to play a little catch-up tonight. Texas put up 4 in the second off Chris Archer. Archer battling with his command. And Tim Beckham's going to lead it off for the Rays in the bottom of the third against Nick Martinez. Chopped foul. Beckham getting a start tonight. He's hitting, as you see there, .241 overall with 3 homers and 10 runs batted in. Most of his damage has been coming off the bench. Behind 0-2, missing the off-speed pitch. Beckham's made 13 starts. He's in there at shortstop tonight. This is the 5th time he started at shortstop, hitting .190 in his starts and .438 off the bench. Ooh, takes a close pitch there.
And that's not easy. It's not easy coming off the bench cold, and I don't care if you're hitting down in the cage or, you know, off a tee, but just coming off the bench, 6th, 7th inning of a ball game. But then for a young guy to do it, even more impressive.
Yeah, he's found himself coming off the bench and getting behind in the count and then having great at bats.
A guy that's used to playing every day, that has been playing every day for his entire existence. Now all of a sudden learning that bench role and thriving in it.
Lifted into center. The Shields is there to catch it. 2 gone.
Dwayne, this is some of the other stuff that you were kind of talking about, how he's an interesting character. You know, you think about a guy that has an ERA of under 1 coming into this start, and you're like, he must be just dominant swinging this type stuff. Well, there it is, 8th lowest in the American League. 3.66 strikeouts per 9. And does get the ground ball double play, but not because he's got some crazy sinker. He's got a little bit of arm side movement, little run, but it's just creating angles, working the ball in and out, changing speeds.
And in college had a handful of innings on the mound in relief. Truly a handful, maybe somewhere around 20 innings. Played the infield. Jake Elmore up here. Elmore just happy to get in the lineup and get more than 1 at bat. He's really struggled. He hit that home run in his first appearance with the Rays. And since the 25th, so that's what, almost 2 weeks. He's had 2 at bats, and here he goes. A double up the left side. Good throw, would have made it interesting. But Elmore has a 2-base hit. So you go 2 weeks, you get 2 at bats, and you come up and double your first time up.
That's the way that this game is going. Nothing going according to script right now, except for the fact that the Rays have not scored off of Nick Martinez, and maybe that's about to end. But a nice job of pulling the hands in close to the body. You see that he got the barrel of the bat to the baseball, hits it hard enough to get it by Beltre, and the Rays have an opportunity to chip into this lead.
Here's Bobby Wilson, the Rays catcher. He did not go. Down to third. Wrong guy to hit it to on that infield. Beltre right there and throws a strike across to first.
Well, it's been an interesting year, though. When you look at this Texas Ranger infield right now, 18
Not very good.
errors.
Yeah.
The Rays have 10 on the year.
I mean, Beltre's made 4. Andrus has 7 already, and he's coming off a year when his defense, it was widely, I think, accepted that it was down off his game before. So that's an interesting trend.
You know what he made the mistake of doing was coming into spring training last season a little heavy. He signed that big extension, didn't come in the best of shape, never really got off to a very good start, and that continued all season. That'll cut into that defense when you're at shortstop.
Down to first by Kiermaier. Blanks a close play at first. Kiermaier hustling down, and Martinez was over to cover, and they just did get him. So the Rays going to double and leave a man. We go to the 4th, 4-0 Texas. Four in the second, and it's been a struggle for Chris Archer through 3 innings. He's made 80 pitches through 3 innings, and here's the first pitch, a fastball, and he misses to DeShields. Delano DeShields walked with the bases loaded, forcing home a run. And now the slider, and he takes that one 2-0. That's the interesting thing about this Texas team. In the first couple of innings, they were not offering at the slider at all. And then when he did get a strikeout, they were chasing a fastball, maybe out of the zone in some cases, but just had no interest in that slider.
No, it was almost like these guys were able to recognize it coming out of the hand. There were some good ones down and off the plate that, you know, not only did they take them, but they weren't even like leaning out over the plate. It's like they recognized it and just took it.
And there's an opening walk, and boy, he's really frustrated with himself. He missed with a fastball. Let's check in with Todd for a moment.
Yeah, Dwayne, Chris Archer, opening day starter. Originally, the plans were for Alex Cobb to be that guy, and Cobb's desire to be the opening day starter allowed him to pitch on March 17th, and he was really, in hindsight, said, kind of regretting that decision. Here's Cobb about what he's been dealing with the diagnosis the last couple of days.
Where we're at right now is we got a PRP injection, and we're going to give that a little time to do what it's supposed to do, and go from there. But you know, as of right now, all I'm doing is kind of resting and icing. After the 2-week mark, I believe I start playing light catch. You know, once that comes around, I think we'll have a better idea. But to think that 2 weeks off from where I was at was going to make everything better, I don't know. But, this is the avenue I'm on right now, so I'm going to give it 100% to make this work.
Delino DeShields with a steal. Guys, he addressed the media for about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes today. You could sense the disappointment throughout that session. Also talked about how there's a timeline right now where he has to make a decision sooner rather than later to try and preserve a little bit of 2016 if he does elect to have surgery. So Cobb is obviously in a frustrating point of the season right now, and he should know more in the next couple weeks.
All right. Thanks for that update, Todd. 2-1 here to Chew. And he is in a difficult spot. You hate to think this way, but, you're talking about next season. It's almost whatever he does, if he can pitch, that's one thing. And I guess the degree of the tear has a lot to do with determining that, and then what comes out of these injections. But 2016 seems problematic.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so, you go through the injections, and like he said, you see in a couple of weeks, because the idea would be maybe you could come back and pitch a little bit this year. If you had the surgery right now, you're going to miss most of next year.
Yeah.
And
if you have it later in the year,
that's the same thing.
Miss next year.
That's exactly right. So that's why they have a little bit of time to play with here. But you'd like to, come up with a plan of action and either be on the road back or taking care of it sooner rather than later.
Chew looks at a fastball down, and he is out on strikes. And so with one out in the third, Kevin Cash makes a trip to the mound. And that's going to be the end of a frustrating night for Chris Archer. He goes 3 1/3. Begins. As Alex Morgan leads the U.S. women's national team against the best teams in the world in search of their third World Cup championship. The only place you can see the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup is on Fox and Fox Sports 1 beginning in 30 days. Well, a tough outing for the Rays right-hander Chris Archer, and Erasmo Ramirez takes over. 92 pitches and 3 1/3 innings of frustration for Chris Archer tonight. Tap back to the mound. DeShields goes to third. Who's there with 2 outs? We saw DeShields steal second after drawing that walk. He has great speed. He got a great jump. In fact, when Texas picked him in the Rule 5 draft, they thought they had a pretty good idea that they could keep him to give a team that needed some extra speed, if nothing else, speed on the bench as a pinch runner, and then work him in. And he's turned out where he's played a little bit more, I think, than they initially thought he might. There's a base hit up the middle on the first pitch to Fielder. He sent the fastball into center, and that scores DeShields. And that run charged to Archer is the 5th of the night to Archer's account, and makes it 5-0.
Well, not wasting any time. Fastball wanted it away. It ended up middle of the plate, thigh high, and Fielder able to pound it back up the middle. You know, Dwayne, going back to what you were talking about with DeShields, this is a team that attempted 164 stolen bases last year. They were caught 59 times.
Yeah.
So you want to get some guys. If you like to run, you want to run, you better get some guys that can run.
And he can. As we saw, he got a great jump and really stole second without much of an issue.
No, not at all. You're right. He was low flying.
Oh, 2. Beltre missed that pitch with a big cut. Play a 4-run second and a 44-pitch inning for Archer, and now the Rangers have another run home in the 4th. Almost hit him.
Just able to get the hands out of the way as that ball tracking in. A forearm shave.
Shortstop Beckham makes the throw to first. Texas out in the 4th. They add a run. 5-0 to score. Archer. Frustration.
Yeah, and you can understand it because he wasn't sharp against Baltimore his last time out. And so he comes out here and it was more of the same. That body drifting towards home plate, the arm never really catching up, and just inconsistent command. A number of walks you don't normally see from Chris Archer when he did make a mistake out over the plate. The Rangers able to get a couple of big hits off of him. And, you know, this is going to be the toughest 5-day stretch in a while for Chris Archer, because you have a little bit of an off start against Baltimore. Okay, I'll get him next time out there. And then you have your shortest outing of the year, and you've got to wait another 5 days. That tries a pitcher's patience.
Now, two things coming out of that as pitchers go that you could directly speak to, and you did to a point early when we were watching Archer. You know what the problem is. How frustrating that must be to pitch after pitch, try to correct it, and the result tells you that you're not.
You know, we talk to young pitchers or, you know, kids that are starting to play real competitive baseball, you know, and even big leaguers. You know, this was something that was told to me, something that I tried to do is that when you're going good, there's going to be 2 or 3 keys to your delivery. Whether it be your step back, okay, sometimes I step a little bit too far back, and now momentum going back equals momentum going forward. Now I'm falling towards home plate. Whatever it is, each pitcher, this pitch there by Nick Martinez, each pitcher will have a set of keys to his delivery, whether it's 2 or 3 things that keeps them in line. And so when you're going good, and like the first 3 or 4 starts of the season for Chris, you want to go write them down, what you were feeling. What was I feeling like? I felt really tall. Like for me, like with the changeup, it felt like I was releasing the pitch in front of my face. So you have these 3 keys that you want to get to try to correct when things aren't going well. And that's why you've got to be your own pitching coach out on the mound. And right now, that's something that you know, Chris is trying to work towards doing.
Yeah, I find it so interesting with Loney up here. I want to know the count to the Rays first baseman. I find it so interesting that the breakout of that is how you feel. The Shields runs this one down for the second out. You talk about mechanics and you think about intellectually working your way through mechanics, but at the end of the day, it's a physical activity, a sensual activity to a point. So it really is how you feel, and what you remember is how you feel, and that transmits that information to your body.
That's exactly right. You know, Chris can go look at video and say, oh, I'm drifting towards home plate, or my arm is slow getting out of my glove, whatever it may be. But when you're out there actually doing it, what are you feeling? Like when you're drifting, what are you feeling? You know when you leave a little too soon. And so what are the keys in my delivery that keep me from doing that? What do I have to remember to do? Do I have to shorten my stride? Do I have to shorten, the start of my delivery? A higher leg kick? Sometimes you'll have something in your mind, pretend I'm this, whatever it may be. And that's where you've got to go back to simplify things and get back in sync. And each pitcher needs to have 2 or 3 of those keys that he can rattle off in his head in the middle of an inning when things don't feel right.
I also think that it's interesting how many times when you talk to a hitter who's really hot, or a pitcher who is on a stretch where he just can't do anything wrong, they will tell you, I feel great out there. I feel really good. They don't tell you, well, my mechanics are great and I am just intellectualizing this to the max. They just go, I feel great right now. There's a scoop at third by Beltran. The throw a little wide, but Blanks gets the tag, and Forsythe is out of there. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Martinez. Giving up just the 1 hit through 4. 2 hits, actually. And it's 5-0 Texas. competition and watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv. Cut and miss by Kyle Blanks here to start the 5th. Rasmo Ramirez on in relief of Chris Archer, who gave up 5 runs, 4 walks, 4 hits, and had 8 strikeouts in 3 in the 3rd innings before departing with 92 pitches made. Blanks, Vergara, and then Chirinos due up. Tapped the 3rd foul. 1-2. Back on the night that Archer had the frustration of an evening, and how difficult it is to sometimes try to correct that on the fly. Blanks out on strikes. First strikeout here for Ramirez. So I guess you do have a checklist of sorts.
You do. Listen, Jim Hickey, you throw these bullpens and you go out there, and the one disadvantage a pitcher has, he's the guy that gets to start the confrontation. Okay, so he's the guy creating the action. The hitter has to react. But a hitter, where he gets to work on his swing every day, pitching can't do that. There's only so many bullets in the arm. And so you go out there for your bullpen day, and now you're going to work on things. Either you're just going to touch things up because you feel really good and everything is in sync, or you've got an issue that you need to correct. And so you go out there and you work in the bullpen. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, and Ray's have one of the best in the business, is going to watch your bullpen. And as a pitcher, you can feel when something doesn't feel right, doesn't go right, ball ends up and away, and all of a sudden you correct it. Jim Hickey may say something to you. You may be able to correct it yourself, but when this starts to go south out on the mound, that's why we talk about having those keys. You say, wait a minute, when I'm in the pen and I'm drifting or rushing, we correct it. Jim Hickey gives me advice. I have my own stuff that I log in the brain. How did I correct it? I got to do that right now. That's what when they talk about being your own pitching coach out there, you only get one visit in an inning. They come twice, you're coming out of the game. So that's why Jim Hickey's going to give you some leash out there, the more experienced starter you are, to be able to correct the problem yourself. You know what you need to do. Now you have to do it. And what are you going to fall back on?
Vergara lifts a high fly ball to left. DeJesus takes care of that. And that's why once that pitching coach goes out there, and if you continue to have issues, you're truly on your own then, unless you have a catcher that you have that relationship with, or in some cases I would think a veteran infielder might be able to help you out a little bit as well. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to self-correct.
You do. You absolutely do. And sometimes the game is speeding up on you a little bit. Your brain's all over the place. You're thinking about a hitter. You're thinking about I'm struggling there's a lot going on. And so you're not able to filter out all of that and realize, what do I have to do? I got to go back to the very basics. It's tough to go back to the basics when the bases are loaded and you're in a 3-1 count. That it's tough to take that all out of there and say, let me get back to simplicity here.
Elmore out from second, a little over the shoulder catch there. So we go 1-2-3 in the 5th, 5-0 Texas. history presented by Geico. Game 163 in 2013. Rays and the Rangers battling for a wild card berth. Evan Longoria homered and drove in 2 runs, while David Price talks a complete game, and the Rays defeated the Rangers 5-2 to advance to play Cleveland in the American League wild card game. David DeJesus leading off the bottom of the 5th against Nick Martinez. 1 ball, no strikes. Tap foul. It's 1-1. All right, we've reached that point here. The Rays are down 5-0. The Lightning down 5-0 in the second period.
Uncle.
Yeah. So all right, time to turn that corner. Jesus fouls it out of play.
Well, with Chris Archer out of the game, the Rays have pulled their starting pitcher. Have the Lightning pulled their goalie?
Yes, the answer is yes.
Well, it's time for the offenses to get to work and make a run.
And it's 2-2. Well, the Rays have just the 2 hits. They've left only 1 man. Forsythe had a base hit. Erase had a double play, and Elmore doubled and was left on in the 3rd. Down the right side, but foul.
I'll tell you where it hurts. What if you're the Tampa Bay fan that's torn on what you want to watch? Well, what do you do now? I guess it's movie night? Or do you stick around for what may happen and flipping back and forth, and neither one of them going very well?
Lightning just scored.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Well, there you go.
2-2 the count on DeJesus. Let's see what the Rays can get going here.
DeJesus tattoos one right here.
Well, he fouls it away and has another swing coming.
Similar situation. The Rays found themselves midway through that game 2 against the Red Sox here, where they were down big. They ended up coming back, tying that game up out of nowhere, and then winning it late. Already done it once.
And the count is full.
I think that was started in the 6th inning. That was when Joe Kelly was just dealing against.
For 5 innings, untouchable.
And then came out and completely, the wheels came completely off.
Ground ball, and it's through into left for a base hit to lead off the 5th.
Well, David DeJesus just continues to use the left side of the field for base hits.
Yeah, DeJesus, you know, he had that hitless streak and then snapped that, and since then he's been red hot. Strike to Butler. DeJesus is now 7 of his last 12. So he's trying to get something going here with a leadoff single in the 5th. Butler lays off that pitch. Slider wide. 1-1. Alex Rodriguez got 661, connecting off Chris Tillman. That game in New York. Orioles and the Yankees. How about this? He made a bid the prior time to the plate, and Delman Young robbed him of a home run. And then he hit one the next time up.
Figured to just take it a little bit further. Put this one out of reach of everybody.
Ball 3. Martinez takes a little stroll by himself behind the mound after giving up the base hit to DeJesus and falling behind Butler.
Well, with a 5-run lead, you want to force the opposition to earn it. And missing badly on some of these pitches here, you don't want to walk.
Shot toward the gap into right center field. Cut off by Chu. Over to third goes DeJesus. A double for Butler. And the Rays are making some noise here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Well, that's earning it. Joey Butler, 3-1 count, gets a ball middle of the plate and drills this thing out into right center field. And immediately what you think here, second and third with nobody out, you're thinking minimum of 2 runs. Minimum of 2 runs.
Yeah, you get that. There's a whole new lease on the way you look at things. You don't. That turns out to be a little deflating.
If a 5-run deficit wasn't bad enough, you're right. You come up empty here and not too good.
Beckham lines in one hop, handled by Odor. The Rays will get a run. DeJesus crossed the plate. Low liner out there. Beckham hit it hard, and the Rays are on the board.
Yeah, Odor was so happy with coming up with that ball because of how hard it was hit that he lost concentration on the throw. Actually bounces the throw to Kyle Blanks. This ball well struck. Want to do that. He's already talked about the fact this Ranger infield right now on May the 7th, 18 combined errors, where the Rays have 10 as a team.
Jake Elmore doubled his first time, and that's a ball. One. Well, the Rays trying to pick up this other run, cut into the deficit. Two and one. Martinez working here in the 5th inning. He's only made 61 pitches so far. There's a base hit into left by Elmore, and it's 5-2. Well, the Rays cash in on the opportunity, and now they're down by only 3. Elmore 2 for 2 tonight.
Well, like we said, second and third, nobody out. You're thinking minimum 2. Change up here to Elmore, hitting his first at bat, and he ropes this one. Bad location there by Martinez. Stayed back nicely, good recognition. There's that second run, and this game completely different.
Mike Maddox paying his starting pitcher Nick Martinez a visit. Maddox, the pitching coach. One out with a man at first. Here's Bobby Wilson. Takes the ball. Fastball a little bit wide. So both the Lightning and the Rays have gotten on the board here in the last few minutes. There goes the runner, and a liner up the middle too, into center. Elmore is going to go to third, and it's first and third with one out. Where the Rays start the runner, and Wilson shoots a base hit up the middle.
Well, what do you got to lose? You know, you're already down. Get aggressive here. Then Elmore off and running. Bobby Wilson right back up the middle. And it's the bottom of the order here for the Rays that have gotten all this done. Look at that line drive. That almost put Odor in position to make a great play. But not so. And another golden opportunity here.
Elmore, who hadn't seen the light of day in terms of at-bats since the 25th of April, is 2 for 2 tonight. Now Wilson with a hit. Kiermaier takes ball 1.
Well, and you look at this matchup right here, and you're saying, okay, this guy doesn't strike too many people out. He got Kevin early in the ball game, but not a big strikeout guy, and going to be real tough to double up Kevin Kiermaier if he hits the ball on the ground. So you're feeling good about the opportunity.
This one is down 2-0. He's facing the 24-year-old right-hander, Nick Martinez. Ooh, big cut. Kiermaier saw the fastball. He was thinking about evening the score with that cut. That's a strike. Take a look at that. Just barely a strike. You know, that's the one thing. DeMuth will widen that strike zone away to a left-handed hitter. Otherwise, he can make it difficult to throw a strike. Foul ball back. Count still 2-2. One hop and become a souvenir. Kiermaier will get another 2-2 pitch. Count is full. Elmore at third with Wilson at first. 2 runs home, 1 out. The count is full to Kiermaier. Ground ball right side. Odor floats it to first. Foul out the call. Run scores, and the Rays.
They're going to win one.
The Rays got a chance to win one.
They're going to win one. This is it.
So the Rays pick up their 3rd run. It's 5-3. Wilson goes to second. And Kevin Cash.
Everybody wants to know, is this the one, Dwayne?
Well, the Rays have not won one all year. Take a look at this.
Float. Oh, no, they're not going to
win one.
We lost one now.
Yeah, well, hey,
we're ready to vote.
We got a little excited.
Number 20,
They got very excited.
Yeah, we got a little excited there. Just reminds me of when the Lightning had that goal waved off in Montreal in Game 1.
Right.
You know, people got a little excited, and then we forgot. So
That's how bad the drought has been. We're now cheering the fact that the Rays may have had the opportunity to win a challenge.
Yeah, they're in record-setting territory. But 0 for 11 in the challenge and a streak of 12 in a row dating back into last year. But they do get the third run. Now it's a 2-run ball game. And Wilson is at second base with Souza at the plate. You want to know the count. And Souza bounces it foul. 1-1. Well, it was 5-0 just a few moments ago. Now it's a 5-3 ball game. A whole new look at this game. One and two. Well, the left-hander Alex Claudio. The right-hander is Anthony Bass. Foul ball back. It's the simple things in life that really make it worthwhile. The fact that the Rays might have had a chance to win a challenge. We were like two kids.
Very embarrassed at my excitement level over that.
It's like mom and dad brought home soda pop and candy. Pitch inside. It's 2-2.
I mean, if you just had video of what was going on, a lot of Frank the Tank action going. Did everything but chest bump up here.
The fact that they scored a run was almost secondary to the idea that they could win the challenge.
Didn't care.
2-2 now to Souza Jr. Fouls it through the coaching box. Well, the Rays have 3 runs off Nick Martinez. They've only given up 1 earned run coming into this game. This one is down. That was through April. He gave up 2 earned runs in his last outing against Oakland. So he'd given up 3 earned runs total in his first 5 starts, and the Rays have 3 runs off him here in the 5th. And ball 4. Souza extended that at bat and draws the walk. So the Rays breaking new ground here against Martinez. He had given up only 1 walk, and that pitch, you know, you could argue that that pitch might have had a little part of the plate. But again, and as noted at the outset, Demuth tends to be a little bit of a hitter's umpire, and that's going to be it for Nick Martinez. He's going to depart in this 5-3 game. Of on-field seating in the Papa John's bullpen box. Host your group of 50 to 85 in this private party area and leave long-lasting memories. Reserve the Papa John's bullpen box by contacting Group Sales at 888-FAN-RAYS. Email Group Sales at RaysBaseball.com or visit RaysBaseball.com. Limited dates remain. Alex Claudio in the game. He is not overpowering. His fastball in the mid-80s.
And you'll see why here on the delivery.
It's an extreme delivery. Ground ball to the right side. Odor up with it, and the throw to first gets Loney. Rays send 8 men to the plate, get right back into this game by scoring 3. With a 4-run second. Archer struggling with his command. Andres got a big hit, driving in 2 after a couple of bases loaded walks. Down 5-0. The Rays come up with 3 in the 5th, chasing Nick Martinez from the game. That base hit by DeJesus had started it. Butler's double. Elmore's single got a run in. Odor takes the first pitch. That's a strike. Breaking ball from Ramirez. 0-2.
Well, this Rays team so resilient. This is just such a reminder of that Boston game where you thought you had a pitcher in complete command of a ball game. This time it's the bottom of the Rays order that's able to get to Martinez, who came in with a .84 earned run average. Didn't even put himself in position to qualify for a win.
Yeah, and if you count the first 4 innings of this game, he'd given up 3 runs in 36 innings. Odor out on strikes. And then the Rays got him for 3 runs in part of 1 inning in the 5th.
Yeah, that's what you feel like. That look on Nick Martinez's face is what just happened.
So he finds himself out of the game after 4 2/3. He had a 5-0 lead.
And 5, 6, and 7 coming to the plate.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got to fight to the finish.
1-1 the count to Delino DeShields.
How are the Lightning doing?
It's 5-1 at the end of the second period.
Well, they got a lot of work to do then.
Well, the Rays have made it a game here. We'll see what the Lightning can do, and then we'll see how the Rays can finish. Ramirez misses a bit, and he's behind in the count 3-1 to DeShields, who has walked twice already and has scored 2 runs. Foul ball makes it a full count. Line drive, and it's caught by Forsythe at third. 2 away. A T-Mobile game changer, and that's what the Rangers are hoping Josh Hamilton will be after they reacquired him on the 27th of April. Those great years, including the 2010 MVP year. Hamilton like 5 innings yesterday in extended spring training out in Arizona. Top of the order, Chu takes ball 1. Base is empty with 2 outs in the 6th. Three and 0. There's a strike. Door struck out. DeShields lined out. Now 3-1 to Chu. Back full with that foul ball out of play. See another 3-2 pitch. Shot back toward the right field corner. That's going to one-hop the fence for a 2-base hit. With 2 outs and a full count, Chu collects his 7th double of the year.
Well, the Rangers hoping that Chu can get back to where he was a couple of years ago, where that batting average up near 300, the on-base percentage up near 400 or just over. That's why they have him in that leadoff spot. Good swing there on a full count pitch, and he drops it in fair. It'll be a big lift to keep him stranded out there, not let the Rangers extend.
Elvis Andrus takes the pitch for a strike. Change up from Erasmo Ramirez. Archer worked 3 1/3. Ramirez has been on since then. We're in the 6th. Fly ball center field. Kiermaier closing is there, and that'll take care of Texas. They get a 2-out double and leave the man. 5-3 Texas. car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Courtesy Toyota, you'll love what we do for you. At Tropicana Field tonight, we move into the bottom half of inning 6, the home half, with Logan Forsythe hitting cleanup tonight, leading off against the left-hander Alex Claudio. There's a strike on the outside part of the plate. David DeJesus on deck, and Butler would follow him.
Well, if you're wondering about this Texas Ranger bullpen, they came into play tonight here with a 4.47 earned run average. That is second worst in the American League. So they've had trouble closing games out, getting big outs, which would obviously bode well for the Rays' comeback.
And Claudio strikes out Forsythe with the first out in the 6th.
Let's take a look at Alex Claudio here in Phantom Cam. That delivery, Dwayne, you were talking about, extreme, right from the side. Spins that breaking ball. Rays. First look at Claudio.
He was in 15 games with them last year. He had quite a trek through the minor leagues and wound up with Texas. He was at Myrtle Beach, Frisco, Round Rock, and then Texas. A 292 earned run average for the Rangers in those 15 games. We got Loney on the ground ball to end the 5th inning. Rays scored 3. Forsythe out on strikes in the 6th.
He actually logged 2 appearances against the Rays last year.
Close there. 3-1. He was one of 64 players the Rangers used last year.
26 times they used the disabled list. That was the most in Major League Baseball, and that's where you'll start to ring up that kind of a number.
Ground ball back to first. Blanks makes the play unassisted. So 2 outs in the 6th inning. In the game tonight and all season long. Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. Lightning trying to make a move. So they've scored a goal. They're down 5-2 in the opening seconds of the 3rd period. Joey Butler takes a strike. So both the Lightning and the Rays got down 5-0 and have started to show some life. The Rays down 5-3, Lightning 5-2. 1-1 the count on Butler. Butler drove a double into right center and scored in the 3-run 5th.
Oh, how about that? You know, these guys from down here, you're thinking that fastball and then obviously the breaking ball, but Claudio with a changeup at 66 miles an hour. It just never got there.
And a cut and a miss. So he strikes out Butler. We go to the 7th, 5-3 Texas. Rangers Live, the pregame show, presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Nathan Carnes will go to the hill for the Rays after his second win. He'll be opposed by Giovanni Gallardo. So we'll hear from Nathan Carnes, and Orestes will break down Kevin Kiermaier. On to the 7th inning. Prince Fielder in the box to lead off. And Ramirez, who entered this game in the 4th, opens the 7th and misses with that first pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. There's one on the corner. 1-1. One and two. Sweeping that slider. Cut and a miss. So Fielder strikes out.
I'll tell you what, Erasmo Ramirez doing his part to give the Rays an opportunity in this ball game. Good change up there to Fielder. He's quietly come in and gone after this Ranger lineup. Pitching quality innings.
Down to third, takes a bad hop on Forsythe, comes up on him, and Beltre is going to be aboard.
Yeah, completely different perspective down there at third base. That ball gets on you in a hurry, and that one had the added pleasure of the high hop. You see Logan, he thinks he's in good position for it. It comes up about shoulder height, and he's not able to come up with it. Tough play.
Third hit given up by Ramirez. And now it's Kyle Blanks, who is 2 for 3 tonight. No ball, no strikes. Blanks had been at Round Rock, the AAA affiliate for the Texas Rangers, and swinging the bat well there. And this one he fouls off his foot and rolls the ball out to the shortstop. Foul ball, and the count is 1-1. If you slow it down, it hurts even worse. A little protection in the lower shin. That got just off the top.
It's obvious that he's done that a few times.
Roller to third. Forsythe to Elmore. Elmore to first. Not in time over there. So Blanks is aboard at first. We'll take another look around the infield.
Well, get rid of it quickly. Elmore able to get it, try to elude Beltre, make the throw, and the call was right. You
could see Ramirez hoping they could turn two. Carlos Pagaro. Looks at one too low. Pagaro out of the Dominican Republic. First got to the big leagues with Seattle in 2011. Spent most of last year in the Kansas City organization in Omaha. Handful of at-bats with Kansas City, but almost all of his season was in Omaha. Action down there in the bullpen. Keone Kela. 2-1 the count to Peguero. It's out of play. It's 2-2. Chirinos on deck. Peguero and Ramirez were members of the Seattle Mariners at the same time. Now facing each other here in the 7th. And a cut and a miss. He got it with a fastball. Hit 93 to strike him out. Bottom of the 7th coming up. 5-3 Texas. Radiation Oncology. When cancer strikes, strike back with CyberKnife. Available exclusively at Tampa Bay. Radiation Oncology by Kubota. For more information on to find a participating dealer, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Gianni Keela up there for Texas. Nick Martinez worked 4 2/3. Alex Claudio an inning and a third. Jim Beckham the first man to face this right-hander. And the pitch is a strike. Fastball pushing 94.
That was filthy.
I'm telling you what, these two pitches, fastball, then the slider.
Well, coming from right over the top too. Tight, sharp break.
Tapper to the right side. And it's played unassisted by Banks for the out. Let's hear it from Todd Callis once again. Todd?
Dwayne, you know what's been missing tonight?
What?
The walk-up music for Evan Longoria. After 198 straight starts, we don't hear that walk-up music by Tantric. But fans that are coming to the game on Saturday will receive this Evan Longoria bobblehead And it's sponsored by Sun Sports because it's the best giveaway item of the year, or at least one of them. And we always sponsor the best items. After this pitch, I'll play it for you. Just hit this little button, and you've got the walk-up music with the bobblehead. How about that? I think they went a little strong on the Letterman-esque gap in his tooth in the front, but other than that, it is perfect. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, and I think you could, with a little touch-up paint, you could correct that.
I like it. I like the walk-up music. I like the bobblehead. I like the fact that Todd decided to show up tonight. When he asked what was missing, outside of the walk-up music of Evan Longoria, because he's not in the lineup, but Todd Cowles hasn't been around a whole lot.
That's right. Elmore misses the bunt attempt. The count is 1-2.
You knew this broadcast was missing something.
Did he repair that, or did he get a new one?
Let's get him back on the line.
Two and two.
Yeah, we got a new one, guys. The road trip version,
yep.
He had a little bit of his legs were severed.
Just a little accident.
Yeah, his legs were severed. But this one's fully intact, so we're good. We're back. We're back. Everything's back and normal. We're playing home games where Tropicana Field is beautiful.
All right, here's a chop. Andrus with the throw to first. Going to be a time to get Elmore. 2 outs. It's good to know we're back. Now the base is empty. Bobby Wilson. Strike one to Bobby Wilson. Ernesto Frieri up in the bullpen. 1-1. One ball, 2 strikes. Keela showing a very good arm. That fastball up at 95.
Yeah, he's got that Iron Mike delivery. I mean, just short, over the top, and fastball straight as an arrow.
He's only 21 years old. He divided last year between Myrtle Beach and Frisco, their Double-A club. He's worked strictly out of the bullpen. And there is strike 3 call. So a 1-2-3-7 2-run ball game, Texas. Tonight's game summary brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. An evening that essentially began as a 5-run deficit for the Rays is now a 2-run deficit. Both starting pitchers long gone. Robinson Chirinos takes the first pitch in the 8th from Ernesto Frieri, pitcher number 3 for the Rays, and 1 strike the count. After the high fastball, fouling it right back, 0-2.
Well, you got to tip your hat to Erasmo Ramirez. You know, he's got to comes in a tough spot early in the game, earlier than you'd like to be in the game, and able to put up some zeros, give the Rays a chance, and now can Frieri keep it going?
And a cut and a miss. Chirinos chased that pitch up. 13th strikeout for Rays pitching.
I'll tell you what, after the first couple outings of the season for Ramirez, he's throwing the ball much better. Much more confident out on the mound, throwing strikes and able to work that changeup in when he does that. Get a little help defensively from his center fielder. I'll tell you what, have an outing like that, come out of the ball game, go upstairs and enjoy yourself some M&Ms.
And now Frieri's in there. I don't know the count to Odor. It's popped up and toward the dugout. Forsythe stays with it and had just enough room. Odor is out number 2. Boy, you never give up. And Forsythe stayed right with that on the railing.
Look at the eyes leave, then he comes back down. Grab that railing, find it again, and there you have it. Well done by Logan Forsythe. And it's a little unnerving taking your eyes off that baseball with the roof here and how tricky it can be from time to time. You got to find out where you are.
Delino DeShields takes a strike, a slider there from Frieri. DeShields twice has walked and has scored. He lined to third his last time. And a couple sliders puts him down in the count, 0-2. Ball, 2 strikes. Two and 2. And a full count. Frieri pitched an inning in Boston on Tuesday. A home run to Mookie Betts. And he walks DeShields. Well, DeShields had walked twice all year coming into this game tonight. That's his 3rd walk. Saturday, MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns with a doubleheader of divisional rivalries, beginning with the Royals taking on the Tigers. Then the Braves square off against the Nationals. Coverage begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on your home for baseball every Saturday. Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Top of the order, Shin-Soo Choo. Shields already has a steal tonight. Draws a throw. He's back in easily.
Well, this Ranger offense has been stagnant with 2 outs. This would be the chance that the Shields should take. We saw the jump in the stolen base earlier in the game. He's got speed to burn and a very good lead. Fastball misses. 1 ball, no strikes.
And when you've got a guy on first and you're trying to keep him there, always concerned that you get a pitcher rushing, he leaves something up. There goes DeShields, and the throw down is not in time. He stayed in contact with the bag. His second stolen base of the night.
Well, we figured this was the opportunity for him to go, and you see that left foot right there, how far it is out on the cut. That's the big lead. He's got that front hip opened, no wasted movement, turn and gone. That was easy.
And the pitch, breaking ball, in there for a strike 2-1. And you could see DeShields jockeying off second base there. 2 outs. And a turn, but nothing doing back there.
Well, and Shin-Soo Choo is probably like, hey, Delino, calm down. First of all, I don't want to have a whole lot of movement when I'm trying to pick up a release point, and you better not be thinking about going to third right here. Let me try to drive you in.
He's going to third.
Oh,
got
easy.
a great jump.
Never stopped him.
Stolen easily.
Yeah.
And on the first pitch, DeShields was jockeying back and forth. Frieri didn't look back at all. And then on the next one, he did. And this one, he's going anyway.
Well, you know, that's on Frieri, because as a pitcher, you've got to peek back there and take a base runner and keep him stuck right in his tracks. You allow that, well, then it should be taken advantage of.
Yeah, and DeShields, as soon as he got out there, he was looking for that. And on the first pitch with DeShields at second, there was no attention paid. And then that next pitch, he actually turned, but nothing doing. Full count. And strike 3 called on the inside corner. Couple strikeouts in the inning for Frieri. Bottom of the 8th coming. Rays down by 2. We welcome you back to Tropicana Field, moving into the bottom of the 8th inning. Sean Tollison, the new pitcher. Rays have the top of the order up here. Kevin Kiermaier shorting on the bat, and that pitch is a strike. Steven Souza Jr. next, and then James Loney. Inside. Two and one.
A fastball, changeup, slider for Tollefson as he tries to navigate through the top of the Rays order.
There's a long one to right, back toward the corner, and that ball is gone. Home run to open the 8th inning for the Rays, and now it's a one-run ball game.
And that was a changeup, a 3-1 changeup, and Kiermaier was able to wait back long enough to catch it crisp and draw the Rays within one. There it is. Boy, right there, center cut.
The third home run of the year for Kiermaier. 4th run of the night for the Rays, and it's 5-4 now. Here's Steven Souza Jr. And he's under this one, pops it up on the right side. Odor, the second baseman, makes the catch.
First baseman, number 21, James Loney.
Gomes up in the bullpen, joined by Boxberger. James Loney 0 for 2. Pitch is a strike. One and one. Time the catcher Chirinos asking for time, granted by Dana DeMuth. 1-1 to count to Loney. Leadoff home run by Kevin Kiermaier. And just like that, the Rays, who were at one time down by 5, trail by only a run. And 2, and he had Loney out in front of the changeup.
Now this is the changeup that Tollefson was looking to throw to Kevin Kiermaier. That one with that little late movement. Good arm speed on that pitch.
Two and 2, the home run by Kiermaier. Again, his 3rd of the year, first home run since April the 10th. And he hit one off Dan Herron in Miami. Count is full on Loney. Cut and a miss. Off speed.
Oh, another changeup and another really good one. That first one was moving down and away off the plate against James Loney. This one, he throws out over the plate. But look at the head on the target, the grip, and let it rip out in front.
Here's Logan Forsythe. Opening strike on the slider. Tried the slider again and missed. 1-1. Chopper behind Charlie Montoyo. Leadoff homer by Kiermaier. 2 outs, bases empty. 1-2 to Logan Forsythe. He fouls that one to stay alive. David DeJesus on deck. And Forsythe continues to battle behind in the count. That fastball up near the mid-90s. Oh, strike 3 called. Fastball that catches the inside edge. Well, the Rays draw one step closer with one swing of Kevin Kiermaier's bat. And his 3rd home run of the season. It's now 5-4 Texas. On 5-4. We'll send Brandon Gomes out there to pitch the top of the 9th inning, making his 9th appearance.
8 strikeouts in 10 innings and looking to continue the good work that the Rays bullpen, Erasmo Ramirez and Ernesto Frieri, what they were able to do here tonight to give the Rays a chance. Now just 1 run down.
The first pitch into Elvis Andrus is a strike. Gomes has actually had a few days off. The last time he pitched was on the 3rd. He was on a regular routine there. He's been a busy man.
Well, even his time back in Durham before he came up to join the Rays, he had gone something like 10 out of 19 days or 10 out of 20 every other day for almost 3 weeks. So a well-deserved blow. And now back at it.
See another 2-strike pitch. Phillies, the closer, up in the bullpen.
I thought they were closing with Andrus.
A ball, 2 strikes. Andrus leading off the 9th. Play. Do it again. Rays in the bottom of the 9th, due to have David DeJesus lead off and Joey Butler and Tim Beckham. Meanwhile, Prince Fielder lurks on deck here in the top of the 9th. Ground ball short. Beckham gloves and throws a strike to Loney. That's the first out here in the 9th. Right now, let's check in with Emily Austin. Emily?
Thanks, Dwayne. Hopefully the Rays will be able to complete this comeback. I will be getting interviews, and we want to remind everybody to tune in to the post-game show, Rays Live, presented by Checkers. Like I said, I'll be in the clubhouse getting interviews from the guys. Todd and Orestes will break down this game, and like I said, hopefully it's a comeback win for the Rays.
Well, they have come back from a 5-run deficit. Gomes trying to keep Texas right where it is here in the 9th as he faces Prince Fielder. There's a ground ball. Will be handled by Elmore. There's a big out of the DH. 2 gone. Adrian Beltre now 1 for 4. A big cut and a miss on a pitch that stayed up, and he had a big cut at it.
We've seen him go down to one knee and hit home runs.
This one catches the corner. 0-2.
Not going to get cheated, and way down in the count here.
Fastball up and out over the plate, but up out of the zone as well, and he was after that one. Down to third for Forsythe. 3 ground balls, 3 outs. We go to the bottom of the 9th. The Rays will have DeJesus to lead it off. They need 1 to tie, 2 to win. who scored 3 in the 5th. Got 1 on a home run from Kiermaier in the 8th to make it 5-4. Neftali Feliz will come on. He is the Texas closer.
Well, it has not been smooth sailing for Feliz. 11 games, just 3 out of 5 in the save department. ERA 4.76, over a strikeout an inning, but 5 walks, something you can ill afford in these types of situations. And you got a guy coming to the plate right near in David DeJesus, who is not afraid to work an at bat. We'll have to get him on board and see what happens.
Jake Smolinski is in the game at left. Pagaro moves from left to right. Chu out of the game. And David DeJesus to face Feliz. After the pitch, and he fouls it out of play. Strike 1. 26-year-old right-hander Feliz. A 1-1 count. Rays have trailed all evening and up for their final shot. DeJesus 0 for 3 in his career against Feliz. And there's a strike. Slider at 83. Joey Butler is on deck. Two and two. Look out, and a cut and a miss by DeJesus.
And a nice catch by that fan. Right in the ribs.
Designated hitter, number 9, Joey Butler.
So, fair exchange there. Butler out after the first pitch, missing the slider by plenty. It's 1-1. Well, Butler first got to the big leagues with Texas for 8 games 2 years ago, and so here he is facing the Rangers, trying to do some damage, keep the Rays' hopes alive. Feliz stays away from him with a slider again.
Well, after the first slider that Joey Butler took a swing at, you had to believe that Feliz was going to stay with it, and no reason not to, especially now that you're up in the count 1-2.
Fouls that one back. Got a fastball, mid-90s.
Well, he almost with the slide step there, trying to speed Butler back up. And I promise you, he'll go back to the slider right here.
Missed with the slider, and it's 2-2. Feliz Back from Tommy John surgery. He finished strong last year for this team. And strike 3 call. Boy, he found that corner with the slider. Dandy pitch right there. 2 gone.
Slider heavy in this at bat for good reason. You see where all those pitches are. And he's able to drop that one right on the edge.
Well, the Rays down to their final out after coming all the way back to within a run. And Tim Beckham bats. Beckham drove in a run with a ground ball in the 5th inning. Really a hot shot low liner on 1 hop. They've got to run home. And a little number back to the mound. A little reverse spin. But Felice makes the throw to first to end this game. Well, Texas scored 4 in the 2nd and 1 in the 5th. And they make that hold up. It's a 5-4 final. Texas got 7 strikeouts out of their bullpen. And they take the first game of this series 5-4. It will be the same 2 teams tomorrow night. We'll be with you at 6:30 on Sun Sports with our pregame coverage. Brian Anderson and the rest of our crew, Dwayne Stats. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast, if not the outcome. Rays Live, the postgame comes your way next. See you there.